everyone. Hello, Taylor. Is that a dog's
It's
paw?
Tucker. Yes, he's here, but he's lying. You get to see this part of him. He's
Hi,
alive,
Tucker.
though. Look,
Thanks
he's
for
here.
letting us know.
Who's here? Come. No.
Nothing. Anyway, hello, everyone. I hope you're all well. It feels like it's been a long time since I saw all of you, but I realized it was just last week. Just a whole lot has happened in between. How are you doing, Taylor?
I'm good, thank you. Busy, but I think we're all very busy at this time of the year. But good. Enjoying the warm winters of Hoedspruit, which have honestly just been fantastic.
Oh, I feel that in the depths of my soul. I do. But hopefully
Yeah.
things will warm up next week when I move away from Cape Town.
It's not going to be hard.
It's not going to be hard. Anyway, welcome to Wild Moments, everyone. Brought to you by explore.org. Remember that we're live and interactive, so you can send through questions. And if you're new to Wild Moments or even new to the Africam community, let us know. Send us a hello. We'd love to talk to you and get your questions and your comments, and maybe tell you a little about what Wild Moments is about. So we take some of the coolest clips we've seen over the week, or sometimes we have a theme, and then Taylor and I, we discuss them, and you get to ask your questions. So this week, we have some really cool clips. Some really, really cool clips. Some involving one of my top tier animals. I can't say favorite anymore because I realized that
Fair
I
enough.
can't even pick one. So what is the point of saying famous? Favorite.
Yeah.
Or famous, yes. So that's what Wild Moments is all about, and we'll get into our first clip in a moment. But first, I have to take a sip of water because I realize I haven't drank water the whole day. Taylor, what are you having to enjoy the show?
I'm absolutely mortified that this is your first sip of water for the day. I've had 2 cups of coffee today. I think I've had about 2.5 liters of water so far, and that's about it. I don't actually have anything with me right now. I've misplaced my water bottle. I suspect it's outside in the garden, but I'll find that later.
Nice. Yes, I did. I did realize I had a coffee this morning, and that was it. So drinking my glass of water, everyone. So let's get through a few hellos and then we'll get into the first clip. Casper's Dead Ghost says, Happy Thursday, Trish and Taylor, and everyone else from 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 73 degrees dew point, beyond steamy in Milwaukee. Oh, so nice and humid. And you've got some iced black tea with fresh ginger and lemon ready. Oh, my goodness.
Sounds so
Maybe I
nice.
shouldn't read these comments. Yeah.
No.
DNC says hi to Trish and Taylor. Thanks for being here today. You're looking forward to the show with your coffee. Nice, DNC. Zygote says namaste to both of you, to both of us. Namaste to you too, Zygote. Andy says, howdy, friends. Wonderful to enjoy the wild with all of you in this moment. Andy, see what you did there. Very nice. Oh, Kauru, you're changing it up today. You've got your usual milk, but now you've also got 3 milk chocolate Hershey Kisses for today as a snack. One for Taylor, one for me, and one for you. Yeah.
That's so kind.
And April Owl says, Good morning, everyone from sunny and hot Connecticut with your cherry iced tea. You're happy to be here. Nice, April Owl. Rolling Trouble says, Hi, all from Washington. Hi, Rolling Trouble. Tris Vissup says, Waving hello, water and some chocolates here. That is what I am missing. Chocolate. And Jean Gale says, Good morning and hello from Seattle with sun and coffee. Sounds fantastic. Well, shall we head right into it, Taylor? Was there anything else you'd like to add in this, our intro?
No, I cannot actually wait for the clips. The first one is going to be, I think, spectacular, and then the ones that follow are going to be equally as good. So I'm happy to get straight into it.
All right, let's head over to the Jabulani cam and have a look at one of my top tier animals.
Oh, hello.
Goodness, I love spotted hyenas.
Trish, last night I watched 7 sneak under the Katmai fence line and go towards the airport in Hoedspruit. It was spectacular. I watched them for air. I didn't want to leave the road.
Who knows where they were flying to?
I don't know, but the airport was definitely closed. So there's obviously some illegal operations happening.
So we saw a little bit of what appeared to be them trying to mate or almost mating at the beginning.
And now having a bit of a
And
cool
this is
down, a break.
but this is something that we see with wild animals all the time, that they can mate or try and mate and then take a very nonchalant break, as if nothing was going on. Oh, there we go. This and giving birth is probably the most accurate way to sex a hyena at a glance.
Ah, well pointed out. For a minute, I had to think about it. I was like, wait, what? Oh, yes, of course. That's an incredibly accurate way to do both of those things. But I am, I have seen, I've been lucky. I've seen hyenas mating a few times, mainly in Kenya, funny enough. And the only time I've ever seen it in South Africa was either during the stages, my goodness, or where the female was clearly not interested in the male. So it's just phenomenal to just look at the position that they have to get in to get this kind of done.
It looks very, very difficult, and it is difficult.
It's
There's
just
so many
crazy to
things
see
here.
that. Yeah, that are basically happening. I just think it's just amazing to see when the female wants to be mated with, then she will stand
Yes.
you and contort to all sorts of positions rather than the running away attempts. I once had Swazi almost get into the vehicle with me, which was not fun.
So there's a couple things I'm noticing. One is when he grabs onto to her skin, to like the mane running down her crest. The one time he was holding on to it, it looked a little more like it helped him get into position as opposed to
Mm,
how we see with leopards and lions.
yeah.
Oh, I must tell you, I saw a clip of hyenas mating, and as you can see, it's a feat for the males. And they have to get into all sorts of positions, like you said, Taylor. And then he just fell backwards.
I know exactly which video
Slow,
you're talking about.
and it's like a slow fall backwards, you know?
No wonder he needed to go and have a quick look on the water. This is looks like it's quite a taxing experience. In a squat the whole time. I don't think I could even do a wall sit for that long. I'd be exhausted. He's just trying his best, though. It's actually unbelievable that the species is actually still around, considering how difficult it is to get the act of mating successful in hyenas. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're
Hmm.
both zoned in there.
Oh, yeah, we.
So you saw how, you all saw how difficult it is. And it's not just difficult from a point of view, but also you can see that she's standing up. So it's not sitting down like you would, or lying down like you would see in cats. So she's standing up. She has so much control over the mating process. I love it. And obviously, because of the genital structure, she has to allow mating to happen because she's got to invert her pseudopenis. So the amount of control that she exerts over the whole process is phenomenal. And not only that, because the pseudopenis, or that opening, is the urogenital canal, so it means that she's both using it to urinate and to reproduce. Means that theoretically, if she didn't want to mate with this particular hyena, but ended up happening anyway, she could flush that canal if she wanted to.
That's incredible.
It's, it's
I
crazy.
didn't actually realize about that. So it's actually, you will never really know who the father would be then of the cubs of a youngster, if that is actually the case. I didn't think of it like that. Because like you say, what happens if she did mate with one and but wasn't the one that she wanted to be mated with, and then a few days later she mated with somebody else, but no one saw it.
Yeah. Or what if she just really needed to pee afterwards?
Yeah, also that. Probably more than anything that.
But it is really, such an interesting thing, and we don't get to see hyenas mating often. I've only seen it once, and it was not a serious attempt. It was
Mm.
half-hearted. You know the exact type, where she's not really
I know
interested, but
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you give him a shot, that kind of thing. And it's such a rare thing because, as you can see, it puts them in a really compromising position. I mean, once for the male, as you saw, very compromising. He's not going to be able to get a grip. If he sees a lion coming, he'll probably fall backwards. But for her as well, once once she's inverted that pseudopenis, I'd imagine that it's not really easy to just kind of separate, like, undo it and
Yeah.
separate. It's a process. And anytime we see an animal that needs to do something, but when they do that thing, they are vulnerable, like giraffes drinking, or especially vulnerable, giraffes drinking, hyenas mating, we see it seldom. We don't see it as often. And like hyenas mating and seeing it on the camera like that for a long time, that's epic.
Yeah. That's the longest I've ever seen a female stand still for. Like I was saying, in the Mara, it was great. It was always at a distance, though, and the females were actually the times I've seen it happen, seemed to know what they were doing. The process was a lot smoother. It happened a lot quicker. Maybe I'd just arrived and they'd already been figuring out the right position. I don't know. But that looked like some serious hard work. I mean, you understand and you look at the different reproductive organs and you go, okay, yeah, this is going to be tough nonetheless. But then to actually happening is very special. What an amazing clip.
Yeah, and another thing that just popped into my head, and everyone, I understand that the things we're talking about can be a little bit graphic at this point, but that is just the nature of hyena
Mm.
genitals. But I was just thinking, given that there is the pseudopenis and then also the pseudo scrotum, I would think that that kind of positioning with the male mounting her from the back would be really, really difficult. I mean, how is he managing to get to essentially the front?
I
I've never thought about this before.
No, I'm also trying to figure it out.
But I guess it comes down to maneuverability, and I suppose it also explains why he was having a really tough time.
Hmm.
But the other thing is, yeah, okay. Um, the other thing that you mentioned was that the hyenas that you had seen previously, at least it appeared that they had it figured out, mostly. So I wonder if this could have been younger hyenas too, because they looked in really good
Mm.
condition. Their ears were entire, so maybe they
Yeah,
were young as
no, that's a good observation. I was just trying to wrap
well.
my
Maybe.
my head around the whole thing, going, I, I can't even put two straws into one another. I don't know how that my small brain. I just sit here going, don't know.
Don't know. Well, there you go, everyone. Maybe you need to give hyenas straws to practice with first in school.
Exactly. I'm
Anyway,
gonna write an email.
Rolling Trouble, you say, woohoo, love hyenas. I know, I love them too. Mindy, ooh, good question. You'd like to know, do they ever get stuck like dogs
Hmm.
sometimes do? I wonder. I wonder if they do. What do you think?
Well, so I was thinking about this, and then I was going, what is the proper word that I should know for the word stuck? And then I couldn't think of it, and I'm gonna answer it. And what initially went through my mind is, why don't we see lions and leopards? Well, like, animals males that have got the barbs on them. Should you think that they would end up getting stuck more often because of that adaptation rather than something like a hyena or a dog? But then in dogs, obviously, we see it happening quite often. But I don't know. I have no idea. But Mindy, you and I was thinking exactly the same thing. I was going, vulnerable. Now imagine you get stuck. It's game over. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think that, in nature, it's not about being, I know it's called survival of the fittest, or this concept, but really it's just survival of the fit. If it works, it's fine. And for me, I think that, what you're talking about is called a copulatory lock, I think.
That one. Yes. Oh, of course I knew that
Yeah.
word.
But the exact mechanism of what's happening that prevents the male to remove himself, I think, has something to do with the amount of swelling
Oh,
that
okay.
goes on, as opposed to barbs, because we know that cats have barbed penises. So that's the first thing, and I feel like it's really a disadvantage to have that kind of lock. But obviously, in terms of vulnerability, but obviously, the disadvantage of the vulnerability is far less than the advantage of making sure that nobody else can mate with
Mhm.
your female right after you
Yeah,
have. Um, so,
absolutely.
I mean, that's the advantage and the disadvantage. But it still feels like in the wild that, can you imagine two hyenas stuck together trying to run away from lions? I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah. That's a disaster. It'd be a nightmare. But so I have a question. Sorry, I should have sent it in the right way. Um, how, but if with lions and leopards mate, and because they mate so frequently, more often than I don't know, more than say dogs, surely their reproductive, well, their genitalia would still swell from constantly being used over and over, with or without the barbs, regardless? Or is that something like, is my thinking completely off?
No, I think that there is like species, there is a degree of swelling that takes place, but the swelling involved, and I must double check this, but something in my head just clicked onto that
Mm,
it's has to do with the swelling, probably something I read. But if it ends up in the copulatory lock, the swelling must have a that specific purpose. So either it is
yeah,
swelling more than is possible with cats, or perhaps there's a certain point that swells, you know, beyond
yeah.
what is possible for. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm
And
also
then
going
I
to
was
have to do some research.
thinking, yeah, and there's other ways that now we're going into mating, and it's such an interesting thing. This prevention, trying to prevent others from mating with the female you have just mated with. So one way to do that is to make sure you mate with her in your territory. So you're
Hmm.
highly territorial, right? The other way is to get stuck like this. And then you also get things like sperm plugs, that the sperm hardens so that it
Mm.
can't be, even if somebody else does mate with her, their sperm can never reach her egg. You see
Is
that
this like a
in rodents and things.
metaphor with spiders and things like that as well? Do they also do it?
Exactly.
Arachnids.
Yeah.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
wanted. Okay.
But
those things.
I used to see it in mice as well. If
Okay.
you were going to check, if you wanted to check that she'd been mated with, you could literally just do this and you'd see the white plug.
Wow.
Taylor taking notes.
Yeah,
Some
things
really
that are in my
interesting
notebook.
things.
Yeah, that has unlocked a really interesting conversation, and I'm very excited to do more research about that. You know, Trish, your experience in the biology field is just so incredible. And like I think about it and I was like, oh my gosh, if I were a guide and I could do it all over again, I would have loved to have gone and studied something like that. Just the science that you can bring to the table that, you know, is not knowledge that's necessarily easily accessible or something that we are forced to be exposed to as guides that, you know, as when you're studying biology, it's man, ah, sure, we would be very smart then. Guides would not have the
Really,
that they
so
typically
smart.
do. So
Thank you.
smart. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Taylor. Okay, gosh, I think, are we even going to get to other clips? I'm not sure. Rolling Trouble, you said, is he biting her neck? So, Kirst, I wonder if we could just look at the clip again, just where he's biting her neck. So, have a look there. Okay, no, he's not biting it. There's a point
No,
where
he
he
is.
does
I think
bite.
is he not pinched it
Yeah,
there?
he's
Oh, there, now
there,
he's
no,
probably
there.
pulling.
Yeah. So
Oh,
it's almost like he's using that as leverage,
mm, holding on. Yeah.
but yeah, and he also by biting her neck seems to be pulling her neck and her front body upwards, which I wonder if it gives him a better angle.
Look how look at how her front legs have splayed and how she's
Yes.
almost going into like a yoga stretch, like the downward dog stretch. And then just
Hmm.
talking about, you know, what you were saying, the positioning of the reproductive organs and how difficult it is to get them aligned. Perhaps that's a way around it.
Maybe. Oh, almost lost his balance there. Gosh, it is an amusing thing to watch, though. I know it's really
It's fascinating.
interesting from a biology perspective, but gosh, when we first watched the clip, I was holding back my laughter. Oh, oh,
Oh,
oh my goodness. Mindy, you say you think a missionary position would probably be easier. Now, that was my thought as well. At
Mindy, I'm
least they,
so glad that because at one point I wanted to say to Trish, I think you should just offer the hyenas advice. But Mindy's gone and said
no,
it, so now we can
that's what
talk.
I would have said. At least, at least then they can actually see what's going on.
Yeah.
But also the positioning of the openings suggests, Mindy, that you are correct. That might work better. Tris Visop, you say it doesn't look like an evolutionary adaptation, rather a consequence of something else that's giving them the benefit that they would have to struggle with. I think we're talking about the copulatory knot,
Mm,
or what is it?
okay.
Yeah. Um,
The-
yeah, I think so too. Those things are really difficult. It's a really difficult thing. It's like a chicken and egg kind of situation, which came first? The
mm.
swelling and then the benefit, or it's slow over time. But more often than not, these things come down to probably a combination of several factors that happen to work. And even if it's not perfect, it still worked well enough for them to reproduce. And that's the most important thing.
Mhm.
Whew. And
Absolutely.
that's 24 minutes gone on the hyenas. Anyway, let's that was such an interesting clip. It was actually exactly what I needed today. I needed to sink 24 minutes into hyenas today. That's what I needed. All right, let's head over to the Incorocam and have a look at another animal I really like. It's a jackal with a friend. Oh, hi
Oh,
guys.
this is epic. Oh, and we've got a side striped jackal.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. This is
They
so
weirdly
epic.
look alike.
Right? Distant cousins.
And it almost
But
looks
they're
like the
both,
jackal's trying to make its tail look like the white-tailed mongooses.
that's what I love about a striped, side striped jackal. It's just how fluffy their tail, or just how fluffy they are in general in comparison to sort of like the sleek black-backed jackals. But isn't this amazing how they are? Well, they look like they're sort of foraging together. Obviously, a little bit of agitation with one another. I think that's why the jackal is fluffed up like it is. But I mean, I would be working together with a mongoose every single night. I mean, I suppose it's the same. Oh, what is that?
Oh,
Is it got? Is it? Please don't tell me you've
I thought
just
it was
pulled
a
a stick
snake, but I
out.
don't think it is.
Oh, the mongoose going over. This is incredible. But it's quite epic. You know, they obviously, we know that jackals are able to eat a variety of different things. And with white-tailed mongoose, they love insects and frogs and, well, a couple of other things. But how great is it that they work together? They disturb all sorts of insects, the whole symbiotic relationship. You don't catch something this
Oh,
time, but maybe I get it. And then you miss something and I get the next one. That was so cool. That was so amazing to see. I've never seen that before.
that was really, really, really cool. I think the thing the jackal picked up might have just been some like a stick or that kind of
Yeah.
thing. But it was so
Got
sweet.
excited.
It was and I think what you said about the relationship, it doesn't appear that it's just a coincidence that the both of them are foraging in the same place because they're also paying attention to each other, which I found very interesting, very subtly, but they are paying attention to
Mm.
each other and they're interested in where each other's noses are going. Now, it could just be that, oh, free meal if that one's nose picks up something, but I don't know. I felt like they were, like, maybe they knew each other. Maybe this is not their first time together.
Well, both are territorial and both have very similar habitats. So it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I suppose you get to know your neighbors, like just like what we would typically do. Why wouldn't animals be able to do that too? We really don't give animals credit, as to how intelligent the species are. We always compare it to how intelligent we as humans are, and that's really the wrong thing to do. But I absolutely love what the AI learning machines are being able to do now and really being able to analyze, in depth as to how intelligent animals are. And I'm so excited to see, other than the elephants and the dolphins and orcas and honey badgers and everything that we already know is highly intelligent, but all these other animals that we
Yeah.
just kind of overlook and go, celled organism,
Yeah.
doesn't know how to do
Yeah.
much. I think we're going to be so surprised. But yeah, but that was really cool. I hope to. I didn't see which camera that was at. Was that it in Coral?
Photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Um.
think and intelligence. I mean, if we had to get into intelligence, it would be another half an hour. But it's such a
Mm,
difficult thing to measure because you can only it's a subjective thing,
yeah.
and the same with emotion or whatever it is. But consciousness or that subjective experience in whatever category it is is unmeasurable because you can never measure it because you can only know what your own subjective experience is. But the more we learn, the more we're starting to just kind of chip away.
Mm,
And what I like most about it is not really the empirical, like the data, but more that it's changing the way we are thinking about it. So we're starting to think differently about different animals, even if we don't have the data. And so when we start to think differently, we might pick up on different things that inform us and create a bigger information bubble about the animals.
yeah. Absolutely. I think that's definitely a
Um,
relationship that we should keep an eye out on Nkoro. I'm surprised we haven't seen it before, but maybe they've just been not in an area where the camera can reach.
yeah, but I think we should definitely keep an eye out for them. Rolling Trouble. Cuz let's do one last clip and then we'll say goodbye. Rolling Trouble, you say, with these two, did you really think they would get through without jokes?
Yeah,
Rolling
I think
Trouble.
Kirst set us up to fail today, actually, and that was the entire plan.
Yes. And I must say that I'm very glad that Kirst didn't say to us, come on, wrap it up, go to the next clip. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Kirsten.
naughty.
Let's have a look at the last clip and then we'll say goodbye. These are some more hyenas, this time up at Oldonyo. Oh, hi guys. You know, I don't often see clips of spotted hyenas, yeah? This is nice.
Oh, isn't that sweet? The elephant turning it into a jacuzzi for the spotted hyenas. I
Mhm.
love that. Obviously, I'm just joking.
Yeah, he's
This is
just bubbling up.
amazing. What's flying around them? Are they nightjars? Oh yeah, I think they probably are nightjars. I would imagine. But what an epic scene! And look how unlike perturbed the spotted hyenas are of the elephant, and vice versa for the moment.
Oh, everyone's like, "Oh, okay, we're at the resource. Nobody's behaving badly. Just having a drink." The hyenas look a little sketchy though. I wonder if there are either others around or maybe some other predator.
Yeah, definitely with the way that they're looking back. It just blows my mind because Trisha hosted the Africam show on Tuesday, and we spent quite a bit of time at Old Daniel, and it's gone back to elephants not really being tolerant of anybody else around the waterhole. I mean, it's crazy just to see how dry it's become. But here we go. Here's this elephant. Oh no, oh, never mind. I'm just going to stop what I'm saying. I was about to say he just doesn't seem to be perturbed at all. But there were elephants chasing the zebras away and everything else. And we know what the relationship was with predators, but animal prove us wrong. I should have just
But,
waited.
but animals will actually wait for you to say something, so then they can show
It's
you
true.
how it's not true. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was an epic clip to end on. So nice to have some hyena love this time round. Just checking that we don't have any more hellos or questions. Thanks, everyone. This was a goodie. We had some really cool and interesting discussions about the mating hyena clip. I mean, I could go on and on about it, and we could chat a lot about that, Tia, Taylor, and I. So I think we managed to shave it down to a respectable amount, but now we have gone over time. Taylor, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have
Thank
you.
you. Oh, no, thank you very much. And good luck with your big move. I think you're going to need it. And I hope it goes smoothly.
Thank you. I do need it. Moving is not for the faint-hearted. Anyway, thank you all for your questions and your comments. It has been amazing as usual. I love to talk about animals with all of you, especially love to do it with Taylor. So, goodbye, everyone. Enjoy yourselves wherever you are in the world.
Bye.